I'll give him a call and tell him to change his mind. They're not the words a newly appointed CEO would expect to hear when announcing their new position to their mother. But that was the case of Indra Nooyi. Since the out-of-the-blue moment in 2006 when Steven Renmond announced that he was stepping down as PepsiCo CEO and handing the role over to her. The trailblazing leader has constantly been ranked among the world's most 100 powerful women. Indra Nooyi is an Indian-American business executive and former chairperson and chief executive officer of PepsiCo. She has constantly ranked among the world's 100 most powerful women. The powerful business leader Indra Nooyi shares her 8 business secrets rule to run one of the world's most famous food and beverage companies. Rule 1. Finding balance is key. Being a CEO is a full-time job. Being a mother is a full-time job. Being a wife is also a full-time job. And in the Indian context, sometimes being a daughter and a daughter-in-law are also full-time jobs. So to expect us to do great in all the jobs is crazy. There is no easy answer. First, make sure you marry the right person. It makes all the difference in the world. I married a good one. 40 years later, I can say he's a keeper. Even today, my husband and I plan for 6 months at a time on where we are going to be, who's going to do what, and how we're going to run a family. Second, make sure you enroll your extended family. I love my extended family. I convinced them all to take short vacations and hang around our home. For 3 months, hang around my home and I'll give you a ticket to visit the US. That's how I got them all, every member of the family. We scheduled them in for 3 years. Rule 2. Be able to work flexibly. The nature of work has to change. Work has devised from a time when the woman stayed home and the man worked 9 to 5. That's not the way life is today. We have to use technology more intelligently. My request to women, just focus on the job you're doing. The higher the quality of your output, the less people will be giving you labels because the work speaks for itself. All the statistics we've seen say that 75% of C-suite executives have played competitive sports through college. It also says when you play competitive sports, you build better teams. So playing those kinds of sports can be very good for leadership skills. And we ought to encourage more women to play team sports in particular or competitive sports in general. Rule 3. Break down gender talk. Don't define me by labels. Define me by the quality of the output that I produce. We have to work on the environment, the labels and experiences. When we elevate a woman, we say she's terrific, but... And we elevate the guy by saying he's pretty good and... Those are the kind of things we have to change as leaders in companies. Rule 4. Do everything well. My belief is that if you lay out a plan and say, in 10 years I want to be CEO, then it's a disaster. You're so fixated on this career path that you don't do the jobs that you're assigned to do well. I'm not worried about where I'm going. I am going to do whatever I have to do very well. That will eventually get me to where I want to be. Rule 5. Work with an immigrant mentality. Most immigrants, when they go to a foreign land, have a fear that things may not work out. They may lose their job or not have enough money to live on, and may be forced to go back. Embracing the work ethic that motivates and inspires them to create a fantastic force that I adhere to. Rule 6. Be proactive in choosing your successor. We identify 10 or 15 people we think can go all the way, and we make sure that people we look at span multiple age groups because the board might want to go way down and pluck somebody up. Over a period of about 3 or 4 years, we expose all of those people to the role. We create environments where they can present to the board, we see them in action with their teams, and we prepare extensive documentation on these people. Very soon you start to whittle away candidates and maybe 4 bubble up to the top. Rule 7. Success is determined by your beneficiary. Succession is perhaps the most difficult job a board can do. It is also one of the most important things a sitting CEO has to focus on. Your success is not going to be decided by how well you run the company. It's going to be determined by how good your successors ran the company. I was more worried about my legacy than I was about my performance as CEO. If the company collapsed after I left, it meant that I didn't build a company with a solid foundation and a solid team.